All right, you ready to dive into something fascinating?
Absolutely. Always up for a good deep dive.
Let's talk about Sylvia Bloom.
Oh, Sylvia Bloom, the secretary turned multimillionaire.
Yeah, she's like the ultimate underdog investor.
Right, exactly. She worked at a law firm for like forever. 67 years, I think.
67 years. Wow. You'd think she'd be tired of the whole office thing by then.
You would, wouldn't you?
Aww.
But here's the kicker. She quietly amassed over $9 million while working there.
No way. Seriously.
Seriously. And get this, she did it all by basically mirroring her boss's stock picks.
Wait, so she was like peeking over his shoulder and copying his trades.
Not exactly peeking, but observing. Yeah. She paid close attention to what he was buying and selling.
And then she just like did the same thing.
Pretty much, but on a smaller scale. She didn't have millions to throw around like her boss.
Sneaky. Did her boss ever find out?
Not while she was alive, no. Her whole fortune was a surprise to everyone when she passed away.
So what are we saying, that all secretaries are secretly financial geniuses?
Haha, not exactly. But Sylvia's story does highlight the power of observation. Being in the room where it happens, so to speak.
True, true. But let's be real. Not everyone has a boss who's a stock-picking wizard.
Fair point. But it's not just about the specific stock picks, it's about the principles behind Sylvia's approach. Consistency, long-term thinking, those are things we can all apply.
Okay, I can see that. So she basically just stayed in the game for the long haul, even if her investments weren't making huge leaps overnight.
Exactly. She was patient and disciplined, letting her investments grow steadily over time.
Isn't that kind of the opposite of what we see with all these day traders and crypto hype?
You got it. Sylvia's approach was about slow and steady growth, not chasing after quick riches. She was like a financial tortoise in a world of hares.
Yeah, the tortoise won in the end.
Exactly, which is a powerful lesson, right?
For sure. Okay, so we've got this quiet secretary building her fortune in the background. But then there's this whole slam poetry metaphor that comes up in the article we're looking at.
Ah, yes. The psychological bomb in slam poetry.
Yeah, that. Explain that to me, because I'm not seeing the connection.
Think about how a slam poem builds up, drawing the audience in with rhythm and emotion, and then, bam, the poet hits them with a twist, an unexpected line that changes everything.
Okay, I get the slam poetry part, but how does that relate to Sylvia Bloom?
Because she was kind of like that. She lived this quiet, unassuming life, and then, bam, she drops this financial bombshell on everyone.
So she was subverting expectations. Like, she was more than she appeared to be.
Exactly. And that's part of the power of her story. It makes you rethink what success looks like and where you might find it.
You never know who's secretly a millionaire next door.
Right. It's a good reminder that appearances can be deceiving.
So what else can you tell me about Sylvia? What was she like as a person?
Well, aside from being incredibly observant and financially savvy, it seems like she was a pretty down-to-earth person.
Down to earth, but she was a multimillionaire. Didn't she at least have a fancy car or something?
Nope. She lived modestly, took the subway to work, and was known for her frugality.
No way. That's
Yeah.
wild. Most people would be flashing their cash if they had that much money.
Right. But Sylvia clearly had different priorities. She wasn't interested in showing off her wealth.
So she was the anti-influencer, basically. Living a rich life, but not flaunting it.
Exactly. Which I think is a refreshing change of pace, don't you?
For sure. It's a good reminder that wealth isn't just about material possessions. It's about how you choose to live your life.
Absolutely. And Sylvia's story highlights that beautifully.
So she was a master investor, a stealthy millionaire, and a down-to-earth person all rolled into one.
It seems so. A pretty remarkable combination, wouldn't you say?
Totally remarkable. And it makes me wonder, what else can we learn from her story?
Well, one thing that stands out to me is the importance of paying attention to the world around us. Being observant, like Sylvia was.
Okay, so she wasn't just lucky. She was actively looking for opportunities, noticing things that other people missed.
Exactly. And I think that's a crucial skill for success in any field, not just finance, being able to spot patterns, trends, and potential opportunities.
Like, we should all be more like detectives in our own lives.
In a way, yes. Looking for clues, connecting the dots, and using that information to make informed decisions.
This is making me think I need to up my observation game. But how do we do that? Where do we even start?
Well, for starters, we can be more present in our everyday lives. Put down the phones, look around, and really pay attention to what's happening around us.
So less scrolling, more observing.
Exactly. Because you never know where you might find inspiration, insight, or even your next big opportunity.
Mind blown. This is turning into a whole philosophy of life, not just a financial lesson.
And that's the beauty of Sylvia Bloom's story, isn't it? It's about so much more than just money.
It's about how we approach life, how we learn, how we make decisions.
Precisely. And it's a story that has the power to resonate with anyone, regardless of their financial goals.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface here. There's got to be more to Sylvia's story, right? More lessons to uncover, more insights to glean.
You're right, there's a lot more to explore.
Well, I'm ready to keep digging. Let's dive deeper into the world of Sylvia Bloom and see what other treasures we can uncover.
I'm with you. Let's dive in. You know, it's funny, like we always think of big investors as these Wall Street hotshots.
Yeah, definitely.
But Sylvia was just quietly working in the background.
Like a financial ninja.
Totally. It really challenges the image of what a successful investor should look like.
Right. Like, proves you don't need a fancy suit or a private jet to build wealth.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that success can come in the most unexpected forms.
So maybe we shouldn't be so quick to judge people based on their job titles or appearances.
Well, I think that's a great takeaway.
There could be a Sylvia Bloom hiding anywhere.
Right. It makes you wonder how many other people are out there quietly building their fortunes.
Under the radar. Totally.
And it also makes you think about what truly matters in life.
Like, is it about the money or is it about something more?
Right. Sylvia wasn't flashy. She didn't spend her money on extravagant things.
But she still built an incredible amount of wealth.
And I think that speaks to her character.
Like, it shows that she was driven by something deeper than just material possessions.
Absolutely. Maybe it was the challenge of the game or the satisfaction of building something on her own.
Or maybe she just enjoyed proving everyone wrong.
That too.
But whatever her motivation was, it clearly worked.
It did, and I think that's inspiring, right? It shows that you can achieve great things even if you don't follow the traditional path.
Well, you don't have to fit into a mold to be successful.
Exactly. You can define success on your own terms.
Which is a powerful message, especially in today's world where there's so much pressure to conform.
It's like Sylvia was saying, screw the rules, I'm going to do things my way.
And she totally rocked it.
She did, which makes you wonder, what other rules are out there that we can break?
That's a good question. What other conventions or expectations are holding us back?
Maybe it's time to start questioning those things and forging our own paths.
Like Sylvia did.
Exactly, because who knows what we're capable of if we just allow ourselves to think outside the box.
And maybe take a few investment tips from a secretary turned multimillionaire.
Now there's an idea worth considering.
I think there's a bigger lesson here too, beyond just the financial aspect.
Oh, definitely. Like what?
Well, it's about the power of observation and learning from the world around us.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Sylvia wasn't just lucky. She was paying attention and soaking up information like a sponge.
That's such a crucial skill.
But I feel like we're so distracted these days with our phones and all the constant stimulation.
It's true. It's easy to miss things when we're not fully present.
So maybe we need to unplug a little more and just observe the world around us.
Like Sylvia did.
Exactly, because you never know what insights or opportunities might be hiding in plain sight.
And speaking of hidden opportunities, let's talk about that book recommendation you mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I've been reading this amazing book called Poetry Master, Poesy Craft in 7 Tagen.
What's that one about?
It's all about the power of poetry and how it can help you unlock your creativity and express yourself in new ways.
Interesting. I've always admired people who can write poetry. It seems like such a magical skill.
It is, but this book makes it seem more accessible.
Oh, really?
Like, anyone can do it.
Totally. It breaks down the process and gives you practical exercises to help you develop your poetic voice.
I might have to check that out myself.
You should. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's been a game changer for me.
Well, I'm always up for expanding my creative horizons.
That's the spirit. And who knows, maybe it'll even inspire some new investment strategies.
Now that would be a poetic twist.
Right. But seriously, I think this book has something to offer everyone, whether you're a seasoned poet or a complete novice.
I love that kind of inclusivity.
And it really ties in with Sylvia's story, too, because it's all about challenging yourself to think differently and explore new possibilities.
Like breaking free from the constraints of our own minds.
Exactly. And that's where the real magic happens.
So if you're looking for a way to tap into your creative potential and maybe even uncover some hidden talents, Poetry Master is definitely worth checking out. Couldn't agree more. It's a fantastic read.
Well, I'm sold. You've convinced me.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear what you think of it.
Me too. I'm excited to dive in.
Well, I'm glad we could share this deep dive into the world of Sylvia Bloom and Poetry Master with you today.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
And I hope it's inspired you to think differently about success and the power of observation.
And maybe even write a little poetry.
Why not? The world needs more poetry.
I couldn't agree more. But it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Sylvia was working in finance during a time when...
Yeah, when it was like a total boys' club.
Exactly. Not exactly the most welcoming environment for a woman.
Especially back then.
Right. But she didn't let that stop her.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
She just kept building her fortune under the radar.
It's like she was playing the game on a whole other level.
Yeah, like while everyone else was busy being loud and flashy, she was quietly making her moves.
And winning.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that you don't always have to be the loudest person in the room to make an impact.
Sometimes the quietest moves are the most powerful.
For sure, like a stealthy financial ninja.
Totally.
But you know what I find really inspiring about Sylvia's story?
What's that?
It's how she challenged the status quo.
Oh, yeah. Like how she didn't let societal expectations define her.
Exactly. She was a woman in a male-dominated field, and she not only succeeded, but excelled.
It's like she was saying, I'm going to play by my own rules, and I'm going to win.
And she did. It's a powerful message for anyone who's ever felt underestimated or overlooked.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we all have the potential to achieve great things, regardless of our background or circumstances.
We just have to believe in ourselves and be willing to put in the work.
And maybe be a little bit stealthy about it.
Yeah. A little financial ninja never hurts.
Right.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Sylvia Bloom, what are some key takeaways that we can all apply to our own lives?
Well, I think the biggest one is the importance of observation, like really paying attention to the world around us.
Like Sylvia did.
Exactly. She was a master of noticing things that others missed, and that's a skill that can benefit us in any area of life.
Whether it's finance, business, or even just our personal relationship.
Right. Being observant helps us make better decisions and spot opportunities that we might otherwise overlook.
So put down your phones, look up, and start paying attention.
That's great advice.
And another big takeaway is the power of long-term thinking. Like, Sylvia wasn't chasing quick wins. She was playing the long game.
And that's how she built her fortune.
So patience and consistency are key.
Absolutely. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about making smart decisions and sticking with them over time.
And finally, I think Sylvia's story is a reminder that we can define success on our own terms.
Like, she don't care about flashy cars or designer clothes. She was content with living a modest life.
Because for her, true wealth wasn't about material possessions. It was about something deeper.
It was about freedom, independence, and the satisfaction of achieving her goals.
And that's something we can all aspire to. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up this deep dive into the world of Sylvia Bloom.
It's been an inspiring journey.
And I hope it's given you some food for thought, dear listeners.
Remember, keep observing, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself to achieve your full potential.
And don't forget to check out that book, Poetry Master Posy Craft in 7 Tagen. If you're looking to unlock your creative side.
That's a real gem.
Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and be creative. Stefan out.